Hi, everyone. We'll get started here in a moment. Just wait for some more people to trickle in, but we'll get started. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. My name is Ellen, and I'm with Mighty Cause, and we are the platform for this year's Give Lopez. So we're very excited to be your guys' first platform. A little background on us. We are a fully functioning organization fundraising suite that organizations can use every year. Every day of the year. We've been around since about 2006, and we will be your guys' first platform for Give Lopez. So kind of for today's agenda, we'll be going over some basics of registration and then delving into some campaign strategy. We will also have Q&A at the end. I will be able to see your questions pop in. If they pertain to specific slides, I will point them out. But if not, we'll save them for the end and hopefully get to your question throughout the presentation. So first, what does your organization need to do? I think we have almost everyone registered already, all 15 of you. So kind of the next steps for you all, you can go back through that getting started presentation, which tells you how to set up your organization page and everything you will need for that. You can also, once again, reach out to support for any help you need there. But yeah, so your next steps are focusing on that organization page and making sure it pertains to this year's campaign. Once your page is customized and filled out, you're going to want to start thinking about communication strategies for your giving day. And the different outlets available to reach out to your donors. You'll really want to start thinking about your goals that you've set for your organization during Give Lopez. You'll also want to start thinking about securing matching grants to entice your donors. And you'll want to start thinking how to engage your community and supporters for this year's campaign. It's a great time to really start getting creative about Give Lopez and plan out how you want to connect and make your appeal to donors. I also want to point out our NPO toolkit for Give Lopez this year. There's some really great tools available to you as you get ready for Give Lopez. It is filled with tips and tricks, frequently asked questions, walkthroughs, and support articles you can use for email and social media to help you get inspired and figure out how to promote your campaign. This is also where you'll be able to find today's training recordings as well. So you can look back on them. I'll also be including the slides for you to review. So now we are going to delve into a campaign strategy. Since Give Lopez is going to be a 14-day campaign, the trick is making the most out of it to sustain your fundraising momentum. So one great way to do that is to make sure your campaign is on track, is to set mini goals for your organization to help generate buzz and build excitement. Setting mini goals for certain points of the day or certain days of the campaign can get people really excited about your own goals and continue working towards those, that your overall goal. You can also set non-monetary goals for your campaign, like unique donors, more peer-to-peer fundraising, securing sponsors, or matching grants. Mini goals help sustain your fundraising momentum and get people excited about helping you reach these goals. To set mini goals, you'll want to think of your overall fundraising goal and what you'll need to raise, or how many donors you'll need to get. Each hour or section of your day or 2 weeks to reach your goal. Be sure to keep in mind when your donors are most active to adjust your hourly or your daily section goals. If you know there are certain times of day that will be slower for you and you may want to boost that time period or day by utilizing a matching grant to help shake up your campaign and get some momentum. Something else you can do to get your campaign rolling is to ask for seed donations. These are donations from people in your organization's inner circle that essentially break the ice with donors. They help get the ball rolling. They're called seed donations because they make the number of donations grow. People to ask for a seed donation might be your board members, staff, especially those who are directors or high-level leaders at your organization's volunteers, or anyone else at your organization who is highly engaged in your work. Just a reminder that these don't have to be a huge donation, but getting a little bit in the bank by tapping the people in your inner circle really does help your campaign move forward and get donations coming in. Another great strategy for driving donations is securing a matching grant on your giving day. A matching grant is essentially a large donation that your organization leverages to bring in other smaller donations by offering it up as a match. So for instance, if you have someone willing to give you $1,000 instead of just putting that money in the bank and calling it a day, you could use it as a matching grant. So you'd take that $1,000 and say to your followers, hey, between these hours and these hours, or this day and this day, donations will be matched up to $1,000, which basically allows them to double your donation. You can do a lot with the Mighty Cause matching grants tool, like setting a cap for the donation matching, say $200, or someone doesn't come along with a large donation and eat up that entire match. So it's a really cool little tool that allows you to do a lot with your matching grants, and especially on a giving day, matching grants can be a really powerful way to drive donations. So since a matching grant is ultimately just a large donation, you'll want to follow the same process as you would when you secure major gifts. You prospect, cultivate, and ask. People you should consider to prospect for these matching grants are board members. Sometimes an individual board member will be happy to provide a matching grant, but one thing you can also consider is asking your board to work together to provide that match. If your board still has to pay its dues, for instance, you could utilize their dues by turning it into a matching grant. Consider your major gift donors who have given large donations to your organization in the past. They are also good prospects, and providing a matching grant can be a fun way to liven up their donations. So instead of just writing you a check, they're helping your organization grow and drive other donations. You can also give the donor some extra recognition when you're promoting the match. So major gift donors who like a little shout out are even better matching grant prospects. Corporate sponsors are also good prospects because it's a fun, proactive way for them to get involved in a public way and draw attention to their philanthropy. At this stage, you can start making phone calls, setting up emails, starting to cultivate these prospects by letting them know what exactly you're doing and seeing how warm they might be to the idea of getting involved. And then in those next few weeks, you can make your ask and shore up the details of that match with the donor. You can also have more than one match running at the same time on Mighty Cause. So if you get a lot of great responses, don't feel like you have to pick and choose just one. So to promote your matching grant, so at the end of the day, a matching grant is really a great marketing tool. So in order to make the most of your matching grant, you'll need to promote it. So the first step is going to the matching grants tool on givelopez.org. And adding it there are some marketing tools built into the platform for your matching grant, such as putting a sticker on your donate button when the grant is active, some changes to your checkout process to reflect the match, and the match gets listed on your organization page. As you are promoting your match, you'll also want to add some information to your story, especially if it's a big match. And promote it on your social media channels, send out emails and so on, just to make sure your followers know about this match. Countdowns also add urgency, so counting down and sharing your progress can be a great way to get people excited and urge them to stop what they're doing and make a donation. Donation management and reports. Your report section is divided up into 5 areas: donations, offline donations, recurring donations, retention, and disbursements. So donations and offline donations, with Mighty Cause's donation report, you're able to view the information associated with each donation made to your organization through Mighty Cause. At the top of the report, you can filter and search for a particular donation or set of donations. The display defaults to the last 30 days of donations. To adjust this time frame, simply select the dropdown on the time period filter. Additionally, you can filter by campaign type to see only those donations from a specific event, team, or fundraiser page. You can also sort by donation type. Using this filter, you can group types of donations such as recurring, offline, or refunded donations. This is useful for accounting reconciliation and to segment out different types of donors for future appeals. We've simplified the screen view for your donor data to show only the most important information. You can download the full donation details as an CSV file to view fees, address information, custom question answers, and more. Simply select the download icon above your filters. Then reoccurring donations. Organizations do have the ability to manage your reoccurring monthly donations right on Mighty Cause within the reoccurring donation section. Any reoccurring donations that have been created for your organization will be listed there. So at the top, you can search for a particular reoccurring donation by status, i.e. active or canceled, page type. So if it was for a fundraiser, specific fundraiser or a team event, and then search by donor name. Also see how many reoccurring donations are active and how many have been canceled. An exclamation mark next to a donation's active status indicates the reoccurring donation is active, but the credit card on file is about to expire. Mighty Cause notifies donors in order that the card may be updated prior to the next donation. However, we recommend directly reaching out to the donor to ensure they update their credit card information. So to review more detailed information on these donations, click the download icon to export that information into an Excel sheet. Donors can update their reoccurring donation on their user account individually, but please direct donors who wish to update their reoccurring donations to a specific support article, how to set up and manage your reoccurring donations. They can simply search this in support, or they can reach out to support directly. Then the retention section, this allows you to export your list of unretained donors, send individual emails, and much more. At the top of your retention report, you are able to filter and create the type of retention report you need. Through status, you can filter your report to show retained or not retained donors. This report can be downloaded as well by clicking the download icon. In the disbursements section, admins can see all disbursements to date to send to their organization, the status of each disbursement, and the method of disbursement. So click on that specific disbursement to date, or more detailed breakdowns of the disbursement report. So you also have the ability to add offline donations. One of the most important aspects of online fundraising is being able to track and manage this donation information. Offline donations are added to show your fundraising success outside of Mighty Cause. Gifts made via cash or check during the giving period can be added. To add an offline donation, select Add Offline Donation in the upper right corner of the page, or select the plus icon on the dashboard next to the Offline Donation tab. When adding an offline donation, you will need to enter key information such as the donor's name, email address, and the source. At the top of your offline donation report, you could search for a particular offline donation by date, campaign type, or source. Once you have entered an offline donation, you can go back and edit that donation. You cannot go back and edit that donation. So you will need, if you need any changes to be made, you will have to delete that offline donation and re-enter it with the correct information. Peer-to-peer fundraising is a fundraising technique where you basically deputize your supporters to fundraise on your behalf. The Mighty Cause platform is actually set up for easy peer-to-peer fundraising, so this can be a great way to shake up your campaign and acquire new donors. So if you wanted to try peer-to-peer, you would ask ambassadors to set up a fundraising page for your organization on Mighty Cause. This may sound like a big ask for some of your supporters, but it's often a really fun way to engage your biggest supporters and allow them to tell their own story about your organization, how they came to work with you and why your work is important to them. And this doesn't distract or draw attention away from your campaign, because they're all operating alongside your campaign and reaching out to people they know personally for donations. In most cases, their friends and colleagues and family are not typically people your organization might have access to solicit for those donations. So you're actually picking up new donors through these peer-to-peer campaigns most of the time. So for people like your board, volunteers, and staff, this can be a great way for them to get involved without being asked to give money. You can make it much more meaningful for them and just making donations or sharing a link. So you can actually be a part of the stewarding process of really building and sustaining a relationship with these supporters. We've also seen some organizations get some great peer-to-peer action just by inviting people on social media or sending them an email asking for their help. For younger people who have a big social media network and are really comfortable online, but maybe don't have much cash to give, this can be a great way for them to get involved. To help make things easier for them, you can set up a fundraising template with your account, pre-fill some images and talking points, facts, and logos. You can also offer to help them set up their page. Organizations that utilize peer-to-peer fundraising tend to raise more money on giving days, so it's definitely worth talking about how you can incorporate it into your campaign strategy. If you manage to generate a lot of interest in peer-to-peer or you've done that for maybe Washington Gives in the past, you might want to try something out with teams or event fundraising. Teams and events can be great for groups of people who want to fundraise together, like your board or companies or just volunteer groups. Teams and events can be a great way to get people working together and united for your cause and inspire some friendly competition to keep them motivated. Difference between teams and events is basically like an event is basically that an event allows individuals and groups of people to participate and fundraise together, while a team fundraiser is a group of individuals working together towards a collective goal. The cool thing about using our teams or events products for a giving day is that there are tools built in that make managing it much easier. So for instance, you can create a template fundraiser, for people can use to get set up once again, and pre-fill in some of that information. So they're essentially just more complex peer-to-peer campaigns. They are a great option if you've got a lot of people willing to fundraise for you, or you've done peer-to-peer before and just want to try your hand at a new type of campaign. So your email list is going to be one of the most important tools for your day. Unlike social media, you don't have to worry about an algorithm getting in your way or preventing people from seeing what you send them, because unless they've unsubscribed, it'll end up right in their inbox and probably send them a notification in their phone. So I want to talk a little bit more about email strategy. People are much more likely to read emails that pertain directly to them. So we highly recommend segmenting your email list by sorting donors into a few key groups. So donors who have given a lot or given on a regular basis, one-time donors, people who have utilized your services but never donated, one-time donors, your board, volunteers, and so on. You don't need to craft entirely new emails to each of these groups, but you can tweak small things about the emails for each group to make it more personal. So for instance, an email to volunteers, you want to acknowledge how they already help your organization. And you wouldn't want to send them an email to a major gift donor asking for a $25 donation. So first, identify your key segments, then figure out how to tailor your messages to them. When an email is tailored to the recipient and the relationship they have with your organization, they are much more likely to read it and take action on it. How to segment depends on the program you're using, but most services like Constant Contact and MailChimp use tags to segment groups of people on your email list. One thing you'll need to pay close attention to is the timing of your emails. I would recommend taking the time to schedule as much as you can beforehand and have a template email ready for things you need to send out on the day, like an e-blast asking people to help you get your campaign goal, or an announcement for if you hit a certain goal or anything to get people excited for those 2 weeks. Another great thing to try is A/B testing, especially with subject lines, because you'll want to make sure people are driven to open your emails for Give Lopez. This means trying out different subject line formats, try things like adding emojis, see which works better. But when you're sending out those critical emails, you'll have an idea of what tends to work with your email list. If you are listening and wondering what I'm talking about and what is A/B testing, if you're new to that term, it's basically splitting an email up in 50-50. So you'll test a specific variable. So let's say you're testing a button color or a subject line. Half your list will get email A with one subject line, and half your email list will get email B with another subject line. And then you'll want to see which email gets the most opens. So for example, the button color or placement, the email with the most clicks would be your winner. So you can take that information and use it next time to get lots of clicks and opens. You just want to be careful about not testing too much. Throwing too many variables in there makes it really hard to say why something won that email test over the other. And lastly, I want to talk about the clear CTA buttons. So on your buttons, you'll just want to make sure that they are clear and action oriented. Something like give now, donate now, help us today. More passive buttons like thanks for donating or please consider contributing aren't as effective. and don't tell the donor what they should be doing next. So for your 2 weeks, you'll want to make sure that you are using social media, making sure that people are involved. Number one, make sure you post where your audience is. If you've never logged into TikTok or any other sort of social media, I don't think that this campaign is the time to start that. You know where your followers are, so make sure you are posting exactly where they are. Again, a lot of strategy comes back to pre-scheduling. So I would recommend scheduling those tweets or scheduling those Facebook posts to keep people engaged. Facebook has some great publishing tools for you to publish ahead of time, so you're not dealing with that during those days. We find it really helpful to also assign someone on your team to interact with social media. So that's just answering questions that pop up on your posts or engaging with your audience to make sure that those posts get boosted. If possible, we also recommend budgeting a little bit of money to boost some of your social posts or tweets. Maybe just $10 to $20 for an ad can actually go a very long way. You'll want to make sure your ad is targeted properly. And if you aren't sure how to target an ad, you can always default to targeting the people who like your page or already follow you. In terms of kind of the type of content you want to put on social media, it depends a little bit on the platform, but in general, photos and videos do really well, and you may want to consider doing something out of the box, like a Facebook live stream video, or maybe a watch party for part of your campaign to help generate buzz while delivering algorithm friendly content. Definitely one of the most important things on these giving days is to follow up. So when you're planning your campaign, follow up is very important. When you're planning your content, you'll also want to plan your thank yous to donors once the entire Give Lopez is complete. So be sure to talk about the impact of the funds you raised and close the loop on your campaign. That means if you were fundraising for something specific, like a new piece of equipment or improvements to your building or something that is tangible, you'll want to update and send emails periodically on that progress. You'll also want to make sure that you've got an onboarding plan on place for all of these new donors that come so that they do come back to donate. If you collect addresses, mailing them a welcome packet can be a great way to get them onboarded. You can also create an automated email journey where they get more information about what you do and why it's important to support your work. I just wanted to point out something cool that all donors will be able to utilize, and that is our cart functionality. So since all of you guys are really campaigning together, all donors will be able to build carts in their donation process, so they can donate to as many nonprofits as they would like, and shop around to support as many of you as possible. Once again, I wanted to bring attention to our Mighty Cause support team. So Give Lopez and Mighty Cause are here to help you. We do have a full support library, and you can find that link in the toolkit on givelopez.org. Or if you just go to Mighty Cause, you'll be able to support or find the support tab and search any questions you may have. But once again, also you can email support@mightycause.com. They have all the answers, so feel free to reach out. And once again, reaching out to support. And I'm going to see if there are any questions. How would you know when your donors are most active? That's a good question. There isn't a specific timing thing on your organization pages, but in the donation report, there should be times to see when they are most active. It's usually during the week as well. So I would definitely focus more on making sure that posts or emails are sent during the week rather than the weekends. It'll just be kind of a tracking thing rather than a specific tool we have to say exactly when donors are most active. Okay. I do not see any other questions. But yes, if you have any questions, let's see. Where'd you go? So peer-to-peer, they do not have to register or sign up. They can simply go to your organization page, and you all have a button that says fundraise. So if you direct them to your organization page here, maybe I will. Yes, you see this button right here, fundraise. But yeah, they will just need to simply log in, sign in on their user account. But yep, that will lead them to all of the steps they need in order to fundraise. Anything else? Okay. Well, thank you all for being here. And we will stay in touch. But yes, talk to you all soon.